Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday the 3rd of April 2023. In today's Millwall news we will start off with this. Now this was a little, this came up this morning and it's about the game that was played today, the match day, the under-21s that I gave you prior notice of in previous videos, and we'll get onto that. But this came up in the morning and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Because you kind of think, well, we've got players coming back into training. They were injured. They might play for the under-21s. It was quite incredible. So this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, South London Press's online website. Millwall set to name strong under-21 side for Burnley as first teamers top up their minutes. So obviously Richard Corley there writing this up. He obviously got the nod. And put it up this morning. Billy Mitchell and Mason Bennett are both set to get 60-minute run-outs for Millwall under-21 today. The Lions host Burnley with the fixture taking place at the Den this afternoon. The pair are set to be joined by a host of other first-teamers: Bart Biakowski, Sean Hutchinson, Scott Malone, George Evans and Tyler Burry, who will boost their much sharpness out of the championship running. Yes, it was literally poor old Burnley under-21s. Or they want kids. They had a fair few overage as well, I think. But the number 8 for them was pretty decent. Davis, I think his name is Jez Davis. Lions boss Garrett wants to top up any of his squad who need minutes to make sure they are fully up to speed if they need to be involved in the club's remaining 7 matches of the regulation season. Mitchell and Bennett both resumed full training last week following ankle injuries, but did not make Millwall's matchday squad for Saturday's 0-0 draw at West Bromwich Albion. They were always in contention as soon as they were back training, Rat told the Southern Press. We sat as staff and discussed it. I spoke to Billy and he didn't feel quite up to speed. When you get to that situation, what if someone gets injured after 5 minutes and they've got to play 85? At that point you say, okay, let's just leave it for another game and see where we are. That's the case for all of those. They are still available, and today will give us a better indication of where they are in terms of the match. Even though it's still not going to be a championship match, and we'll probably have the same debate after the game. I don't think we're desperate to get people involved. The question is when we feel they can offer us something, we feel we haven't got in a squad, or when we feel they can come in and really impact. Now that's the debate at this stage of the season on all of them. Indeed. So let's get into it. Before we read the match report, let's just tell you what that team was. So the team was Biakowski, Adam Maliki, Malone, Scott Malone, George Evans, Hutchinson, Ockerley, Essay, Billy Mitchell, Mason Bennett, Nana Boateng, Tyler Burry. And the subs are Vid on for Hutchinson at half time, Allen on for Mitchell 61 minutes, Leahy on for Bennett on 56 minutes, and Drozd on for Burry in the 71st minute. And that was immediately after Tyler Burry had scored. The sub not used was the goalkeeper Joe Wright. So you can see he was a super strong team. And I thought, hang on a minute, you're only allowed 5 overage players. And then I had a look, and Billy Mitchell is only 21. He's, in fact, on Friday, on Good Friday, it's his birthday. And he's going to be 22. So he is, I believe he's allowed to play for the under-21s. That means we could play 5 overage players, and Billy Mitchell wasn't one of them, because I was worried about. We don't want a situation where they get points deducted for fielding an eligible team, because that would not be a good idea. So let's get back and read the match report. Single goal victory for Millwall under-21s. So yes, it was only 1-0, but I mean we absolutely dominated. I was down there at the game. We absolutely dominated. They were all absolutely amazing, all very good, as you would expect, to be honest, because they're first team players basically. Some brilliant stuff from SA. Tyler Burry, you think, well, what Tyler Burry, what he brings is he just goes, he's so direct, he just goes out. and that's what you kind of miss. You don't want people doing sideways passing. You want someone to pick the ball up and run forwards, and that's what he does. He's not shy. And Essay as well. He was just dancing through the whole of the players with the ball at his feet. Absolutely amazing stuff. Nino Maliki. I didn't even notice. So Nino Adam Maliki. He's a left back. He's a left back. But today he was playing right back. I did not even notice that he was playing right back until halfway through the second half. Like, hang on a minute. He's playing right back. He's a left back and he's playing right back because obviously Scotland on the left. He was so good, doing so well coming forward and that. Didn't even twig that he was in the wrong position. Absolutely amazing. So we probably could and should have been 3-0 up at half time. It was just like the first thing. We create a lot of chances, some better than others, and we just not really got that cutting edge to put them away. Mason Bennett good today as well, especially him linking up with Scott Malone. Yeah, everyone was good. Even George Evans was good, except for. So the start of the second half, I don't know if there's a formation change. It looked like there was, but then they changed it back, so I don't think it was working. 4-4. I think they went to 4-4-2. And then that, for some reason, George Evans was pushing forward more, and it wasn't really working. There was a massive gap behind him. And then they changed it again. They did something, and then it was back to firing on all cylinders. So Tyler Berry scored the winners. Millwalls under 21s 1-0 winners over Burnley in the Professional Development League on Monday afternoon. The winger returned from injury to fire home the back post 20 minutes from time to cap a dominant display. Kevin Nugent's side. Bartosz Białkowski, Scott Malone, Sean Hutchinson, George Evans, Billy Mitchell, Romain Esse, Mason Bennett, and Tyler Berry all played a part against the Clarets. The Lions dictated the opening exchanges, with Berry creating himself the first big chance of the game, squeezing between two Burnley defenders and firing a curling just wide of the post. It was very much start as you mean to go on for Nugent's men, with Romain Esse causing the Clarence defence a headache whenever he picked up the ball. Youngster almost produced an incredible opening goal, dazzling through the heart of the Burnley defence, only for his side-footed effort to be clawed away exceptionally by Denis Franche, a move that brought a deserved applause from the Lions faithful. With 10 minutes remaining before the half-time break, Millwall had yet another opportunity to take the lead. Malone's pinpoint cross-field pass found Mason Bennett, who brought the ball down expertly on his chest and fired a half-volley to his goal, forcing the Burnley number one into action again. Yes, that was a very good move. Scott Malone just floated it up forwards over the line of Burnley defenders for Mason Bennett to run onto. He ran onto it, chested it down, and then just hit it straight away, and the goalkeeper saved it. It was kind of at him, but still. With 10 minutes, oh no, I've read that. With the second half underway, midfield duo Evans and Mitchell were integral to the Lions' dominance, resulting in more openings for the forward attack. Now, second half. Now, before we get into this, Hutchinson went off at half time. Now, I was looking at him just before half time, and he wasn't moving right. It wasn't obvious. He wasn't limping heavily, but he wasn't moving right. There's something wrong with him here. I think he's injured. Obviously, his latest injury was a quad injury, which you don't know is your front of your thighs. It's your thigh muscles. So it might be that again. It might just be he might have said I felt a twinge or something, and he just wants to, doesn't want to risk it. Just went off at half time. Hopefully that's the case, because obviously with Cresswell broken eye socket, I doubt he's going to be playing on Friday. If he plays on Friday, he's Jesus. He's going to be Superman. Playing, or more like Zorro playing in a mask. But damn, if Cresswell turns up on Friday and plays in a mask, come on, what a man, what a man. But I think Hutchison, we kind of need him, so hopefully he's not too injured. So he went off at half time for Frankie Vid. Took a while to settle in. And like I said, I think there was a kind of a change of formation, or it wasn't really needed in terms of that substitution. It could have been just been the same. But yeah, start the second half. We weren't firing on all cylinders as we were in the whole of the first half. SA, who had a goal disallowed early in the half, again smoothly went past Claret's defender, this time dragging his shot wide of the post. The host continued to pepper the Burnley goal, and the Boateng's drag back, finding its way to Tom Leahy, who strike cannon over by Tom Leahy. Two very good chances. They just snatched them, didn't let them fall down a bit more, kind of lean back on one of them. Well, which went over the bar. Just needs a little bit of composure, but that's understandable. It is what it is, isn't it? That's what he's got to learn. He's got to look back, and now that they were recording on man, no, if he wants to look back, he can do that. Just you got to get over the ball. Don't lean back on it. Let the ball drop. If you're worried about them getting it, then turn your back to it and shield it, and then if that means you can't get a shot away, you have to lay it off. That's the case. But so Mill did eventually find their breakthrough with just 20 minutes left on the clock. The constant threat SA looped across towards Leahy, whose flicked header fell to Bury as the wing converted a tidy finish in the back post. Yeah, brilliant move. I mean, SA floated the ball up. It was insane. I mean, I don't know. This is a new ball, that mitre ball, but is it mitre ball, Nike ball? But yeah, it was just like flying. It's insane pass from SA outside of his foot, I think. Yeah, and then immediately, so it was obviously a pre-planned move straight after the goal. I think they kicked off first, and then they took Bury off. So the Lions did not take the foot off the accelerator and push for a second. A neat football between Malone and Seb Joss created an opening for Leahy. His first shot setting himself up for a volley, second the volley over the bar. Yeah, that was all I was talking about. Evans proved to be a towering figure in the midfield, and it was his effort that nearly added some daylight between the two sides. After stepping in and stealing the ball from Will Hugel, he found Boateng, who called French into action yet again. Final whistle brought a superb display from the Fugit side to an end as they picked up deserved 3 points to remain unbeaten on home soil and build a 3-point gap at the top of the division. And next up for Millwall under-21s is the visit of Swansea City on Tuesday 11th, which as of now is tabled to be at the training ground. But yeah, so here we go. We've got, why are all these first team players playing? Well, as Gary said, he doesn't want them to be rusty. He wants them to get involved in actual games, which are different from training games. This was different. It wasn't. They weren't playing kids. There was some like proper. It's Burnley, so they've got under 21s. Obviously, us in our under 21s team, we've got a lot of under 18s and players like that. We have to push them up an age group. Whereas for Burnley, they're probably trying to hold them down. But yeah, it was pretty decent. But is this a Gary Rowett masterstroke here? Now it was obviously with an aim for the first team. In terms of getting the injured players back, making sure they're robust enough to get through a game, and then we'll look, because we might need them Friday and Monday. We've got 2 games coming up in quick succession. We need the squad to be used. So if you're going to go in and you're going to start a game, maybe Malone, we might have injury problems, like I said, Hutch going off at half time. Malone might have to play left back. Murray Wallace might have to play centre back. Don't know. So we do need to use our squad. Mason Bennett looked very good. There was a worry when So obviously they said in the South London press that he was supposed to play 60 minutes, come off 56. He went chasing into a ball and got he run into the post, but with his chest, so his ribs. So he was down for a bit, and then they said the trainers come on, the physio and all that, and he carried on and did continue. But before that, he looked very good in terms of like having a centre forward who can back up Bradshaw if Bradshaw isn't around. I think Mason Bennett can do the job pretty well, to be honest with you. He was very good. So yeah, all round excellent stuff. Poor old Burnley, eh? Just wrong place, wrong time, because Gary Rowetts was using every possible rule, which meant you could have 5 overage players and an overage goalkeeper to get the squad players in the first team some game time. And we'll see if it's worked. But here's the thing. So if Hutchinson is injured, now we know. And you think, well, no, because you've risked him. But here's the thing. If he wasn't properly fit enough to last, what if we had to start him against Luton? What if he'd got injured in that game? You know what I mean? So like, okay, we had to test you, and you failed the test, or maybe because you got injured. Which is better doing it against Burnley under 21s than it is against Luton. Or was that trying to make in-game changes with substitutions doesn't really work out. You need to be pre-planned stuff, starting lineups and all that. So there you go. But in terms of the under 21s themselves, doing very well. Again, unbeaten at home, and it's April. They're unbeaten at home. It's April. I think they got 5 or 6 games left. Incredible stuff. So let's have a chat with the manager then. Nugent reviews Millwall under 21 success. Kevin Nugent praised a really good performance from his under 21 side as Millwall picked up 3 more professional development league points on Monday afternoon. It was a really good performance. The result could have been a lot more. What we did well was keeping an attacking, dominating possession, but still having a balance behind the ball. You can't just be gung ho, so that showed a nice bit of experience in there. It's been brilliant to have the first team lads with us. 3 of them meet the criteria anyway, in terms of Romain, Tyler, and Billy. Oh, so Tyler's qualifies as well. Okay, cool. But the others who've come in have been fantastic. The attitude that they give to the group every single day is great. They're obviously very talented. What they can give to the younger guys is priceless. Yeah, they were using their names when they were calling for the ball and stuff like that. It did seem that they knew who they were and knew how to play with them. So, yeah, good stuff. Now, moving on to this from southwarknews.co.uk. West Brom shutout sets Millwall up for championship running. The Lions became the first team to secure a clean sheet at the All Forms since October 29th. Yes, that 0-0 result at West Bromwich Albion is very, very good when you consider West Brom's home form. Gary Rowett believes it was crucial for Millwall to score a clean sheet against West Brom Saturday afternoon, expressing his delight at how his side defended against one of the top sides in the division. The Baggies boast one of the best home records in the Championship, so a trip to the All Forms was always going to be a daunting prospect for the Lions, who had just kept 1 clean sheet in their previous 5 games, conceding 7 goals in that time. It is unlike Rowett's men, as they are usually known for being a resilient defensive unit, capable of grinding out results. The manager was delighted that they were able to get back to their best in the West Midlands, helping to secure a goalless draw that moved them up to 5th in the table. I thought defensively we were excellent, he said after. We changed the way we pressed about 2 or 3 times during the game. Zion and Bradders did it really, really well early on. Chalabar and OK kept dragging one of our midfielders up, and they were trying to exploit those little spaces with a wide player, tucking in and moving around our midfielders. We had to work hard for that, but I thought we held a shape. Worked, slid across the pitch, and pressed the ball really well when we needed to. Uh, we made it very difficult for West Brom to get the usual rhythm in their front foot play. The game is always alive and 0-0 when you've got people like Jed and Swifty and Tottenham, Rodgick on the pitch. But I think there was one moment around the edge of the box where you hold your breath because you think they've got the players to turn an average performance into a winning one. Bat of an eyelid. You're always a little bit wary of it, but I thought we dealt with it pretty well. I don't remember George Long having to make a save. Indeed, as mentioned in yesterday's stats video. Now, moving on to this. Millwall appear on Soccer AM's You Know the Drill. What? I haven't watched Soccer AM for probably 25 years. It was announced last week that they're going to be knocking it again. No one else is watching it apparently either. Millwall, I don't know if they're going to be on it or they were on it. I don't even know if they filmed this and it's coming up. Because it just says they filmed it. So, the Millwall Football Club was delighted to host Soccer AM and Jimmy Buller at Calmont Road as the television show filmed the latest episode of You Know the Drill series. Which I literally have no idea. I thought they used to do the crossbar challenge. I know that. With first team coaching staff member Paul Robinson setting a drill, full lights up on George Honeyman and under 18 stopper George Evans between the sticks, whilst Charlie Cresswell, Murray Wallace, Danny McNamara and Jake Cooper provided the ammunition. Take a look below at the gallery of photos from You Know the Drill. So does anyone watch this while we on it on Saturday, or while we are we coming up this week? I don't know. So there's the keeper there. Lord kind of wrestle him to the ground. Gary out there having a laugh at him. The other players as well. So interesting stuff. But George Evans there, the under 18 goalkeeper, he's taller than most of the other people there. Yeah, he's taller than Honeyman. He's as tall as Cresswell, taller than Paul Robinson, taller than Jimmy Buller. It's not bad for a goalkeeper. But here's the interesting thing. So his name's George Evans. The kid there on the right next to Cresswell. We have another George Evans. But look, they've given him initialed training wear. GCE. So when they have two players who've got the same initials, they have to give them their middle name. So he's GCE, not GE. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. The club put this up. Like I said, I haven't watched this show for 20 odd years. I don't know if this was on Saturday before the West Brom game or if it's on this Easter Saturday. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Not a clue. Now, moving on to this. From southwarknews.co.uk, Millwall Loanwatch, blank weekend for young duo. Jamal Lawson's Maidstone United are relegated from the National League while the midfielder continues to recover from injury. Alex Mitchell was an unused substitute over the weekend despite St Johnstone losing the centre-back in the early stages of their 1-0 loss to Aberdeen. Andrew Considine was given a straight red card in the 6th minute of Saturday's game at Thurman Park, but manager Callum Davidson opted against bringing on an immediate replacement as they were playing with the back three. The Saints fell to a defeat thanks to an own goal from Remy Matthews, that's the goalkeeper, on the half-hour mark, dropping them to 9th in the table. As a result, it's incredibly unlikely that they will secure a top half finish before the league splits in two, as the gap to Hibernian and 6 is currently 8 points with just 3 games to go. Elsewhere, Jamal Lawson's Maidstone United were beaten 4-0 at home by Boreham Wood, although the midfielder was once again left out of the squad as he continues to recover from an injury. Yeah, he was at the game today. News that then understands that he has temporarily returned to South London as a result, although he will likely finish the campaign at the Gallagher Stadium. So just a short injury. Hopefully they have him back for the end of the season. I'm pretty sure that their season ends earlier than the Football League season. The defeat confirmed the Stones' relegation from the National League, having spent just one season in the fifth tier after winning the National League South title in 21-22. It also extended their winless run to 20 games, with just 5 remaining for George Helakovi's men to avoid finishing at the bottom of the division. Yeah, this is a pattern that keeps emerging. Always puzzling for me to see. You got your likes of your Maidstones and your Ebbsfleets and your Dartfords, and they absolutely run away with the National League South. And when they get up in the National League, they're just so bad. They're generally not very good. Maybe it's all the travelling, because obviously they're Kent based. They go from being in the South League, having not to do a lot of travelling, into then the National League. There are quite a lot of northern teams in the National League now, so maybe it's that, I don't know. But not mentioned here, VCD Athletic, their game was postponed, so Jordan Gilmore did not play. A lot of games in non-league postponed this Saturday because of the weather, so there you go. And that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.